If Democrats don't get their shit together, they're going to take even more ass whippings than the one that they took on Tuesday night in Virginia. My name, of course, is Matt Stevens, and this is your Matt Minute in Politics. Now, we've got a lot to talk about before we get to Virginia. One good point from Tuesday night is that the Atlanta Braves won the World Series, so go Braves. Very happy that my city is now World Series champions. So congratulations to the Atlanta Braves. That, unfortunately, was the best news of Tuesday night. Everything else related to politics was a hot, flaming mess, okay? And I'm talking specifically about Virginia. Yes, I know that there were a lot of races all across the country. I'm not going to really get into those. I really want to focus on Virginia. We're going to hit 3 key points and get out of here, okay? So just follow along with me. So you might ask, well, why is Virginia important? Okay, they had a governor's race on Tuesday night. And Virginia is the type of state, they always have their governor's race 1 year after the presidential election. So you had a presidential election in 2016, they had a governor's race in 2017. Presidential election in 2020, governor's race in 2021. So Virginia kind of takes the temperature, if you will, of what is going on in the country or how people are responding to the party in power. In this case, it's the Democrats in power in Washington. How are Virginia voters responding? Still waiting to hear where the Virginia Democrats are making any kind of case, or the National Democrats are making any kind of case to keep their offices. I don't know, but they got their asses handed to them in Virginia on Tuesday night. So, like I said, I had 3 points. Make these and go home, okay? First point and first takeaway from the Virginia gubernatorial race. I have to ask the tough questions about why were we running Terry McAuliffe in the first place as a Democrat? Now, if you don't know Virginia politics, Terry McAuliffe was the governor of Virginia from 2013, I believe, to 2017. Okay, so in Virginia, you can only be governor for 1 term, and then you have to get out of office, and then you can go back a second time. You can run a non-consecutive term, basically. So like Barack Obama ran 2 terms in a row. You can't do that in Virginia. You can only serve once. You got to get out of office, sit out for 4 years. Then you can run for your second term in a non-consecutive manner. So that's what happens in Virginia. So he was running for that second time, Problem is, and this is not really a read so much on Terry McAuliffe, but just on national Democratic politics. Why are you running him? Why are you running yet another establishment white male Democrat in a state that is becoming increasingly diverse like Virginia? It doesn't make sense. Are you telling me, now I don't live in Virginia. There's some, wonderful people that live there. But you're telling me that there's nobody else in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia that could have served as the Democratic governor that was qualified to do that job other than somebody who already held the position for 4 years. I know he didn't get his second term, but still, he held the job. You're telling me that there was nobody else? Nobody? Anywhere? Out there, Virginia? Let me know. Nobody? I guess not, because he stepped up and he lost, okay? So that's my first thing, is that Democratic politics always tend to favor old school establishment Democrats, okay? That was point 1. Point 2 is probably the point that I need you to take home, and this is the reason why I need you to share this video with everybody you know. When it comes to races like the Virginia governor's race, Democrats are going to allow, if they're not careful, they are going to allow Senators Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia to sink this entire fucking party. Pardon my language, but you got to say it. They're going to allow those 2 people in Congress, in D.C., to sink so many races across this country. Why? Because they are the 2 Democrats that are holding up most of the Biden agenda. Build Back Better, which was $3.5 trillion, got cut in half and is still not passed. Voting protection within federal voting protection better access to the ballot across the country. That's why you haven't seen it, because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and the Republicans. But for right now, we're going to focus on those two, because if we had those two on board, we'd have roads, schools, bridges, early childhood education. We'd have paid family leave, all of these different things, increased broadband, voting protection, all that stuff we would have if Sinema and Manchin were on board. Now I got to ask this question too, and I mean this. We are allowing two entitled white senators to block the entire legislative agenda for this country. Entitled, why? Because one of those senators lives on a houseboat. The other senator thinks it's fun to go to somebody else's state and go do an internship in a winery. Sinema and Manchin aren't worried about crumbling roads or fixing schools or increased broadband. They have all of those luxuries. The people that they serve in Arizona and West Virginia don't have those luxuries, and they're holding up all that progress for everybody else. But because nobody has chin checked either of them, that says either get on board or we're going to blast you. Blast you meaning call you out on social media, call you out on the Senate floor, call you out whenever and wherever possible, because nobody seems to have done that to them. We live in this era of bipartisanship and we're going to work together. We're going to cross the aisle. Damn that. We have to get work done. These two legislators are responsible for legislating. However, there is no legislation being passed. If you or I show up to work every day with a 17% say approval rating, we wouldn't have our jobs. We showed up every day. We just didn't do anything. We just said we just blocked it. Why are we blocking it? We don't know. I don't know. Just because we feel like it. That's $3.5 trillion is too much to spend for roads and schools and bridges and kids and all that type of stuff. If we did that, we would not have a job. But for some reason, they still have a job. Okay, so Sinema and Manchin are going to be the two reasons in Congress, in D.C., why state level races like Virginia are failing. And what happened in Virginia, if Democrats don't turn it around today, right now, if they don't turn it around today, there will be no blue wave in 2022. There will be no keeping the Senate or increasing our margins in the Senate. There will be losing the House. Okay. The quicker they get to that, the quicker we can take this thing home, and we can actually start delivering for the people, because that's the problem. Sinema and Manchin have held up everything, and then people other Democrats don't have anything to take to their districts to show, hey, I've done these things and they're tangible and you can see them and look at that bridge and that road and that school. They don't have that because of Sinema and Manchin. He's on his houseboat. She's in the winery. They don't give a fuck about us. Okay. Final point. I'm going home. Black agenda. There is no black agenda in the Biden administration. If there is one, it is not. We don't know what it is. It is not known. And because you have not activated your base, you win with black women in the Democratic Party. You win with black women. You win with black women. You win with black women. I said that over and over again because we have to bring that point home. You win with black women. When you don't activate your black base in the Democratic Party, voter turnout is this, even in an off election. It's going to already be like that anyway. But it was increased because there's been, because of Trump, now more people are voting in local elections and stuff like that. But you're not increasing your black turnout because you have no black agenda. Because the things that could help black communities in Congress are not being passed. They passed voter protections in Virginia, but it still didn't get people to come out because while all politics are local, remember, all politics are local, still your federal legislators have more of a name recognition than your state level people do. So that's why Biden and AOC and Kamala Harris, all them, they have a bigger profile than, your mayors and your city council people like that. So until you get strong about a black agenda, you show the black community and the multicultural community, the Asian, the Latinx communities and all that you're delivering for them in particular, they're going to stay home. Okay. Those are my 3 takeaways. And so what have we talked about? We talked about why are we running Terry McAuliffe again, a white man again, in a multicultural state like Virginia again. Point number 2, Manchin and Sinema are going to sink this whole thing. It's the Titanic, and they are allowing the water to come in the bottom of the boat. Final point, until you get a black agenda, you're clear about it, and you're delivering on it, meaning you're legislators doing legislating, producing legislation in D.C., it's not going to happen. And you're going to be sitting here with the long face the day after election, just like people are in Virginia, because now they have a Republican governor. And that, my good people, is it. My name is Matt Stevens. This is your and has been your Matt Minute in Politics. Please, all my social media information is in the lower left-hand corner of this video: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me there. Please share this video because we got to have these tough conversations. I hate this is this long, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. I'm sorry. I gotta do a long video when I'm telling the truth. And you know it's messed up. And you know that this privilege in the Democratic Party has allowed this shit to happen. And somebody has got to say it. And why not it be me? Okay? You guys have a wonderful day. And I will come to you again very soon.